Blissful Badger. Can you believe it's been a year since I moved into the bunker? It's been a wild, wild year. And I figured I'd share how it's been progressing. So a year ago, I had empty walls. And the potential for this room was amazing. And then, 11 months ago, I had a few things in place. And I was starting to get used to everything and how it was going. And now, it's been 11 months later. It's been a full year, and it feels so much better. I have a calendar on the wall now. Whole bunch of Games Workshop paints, nice and organized. Over here I have all of my rule books and painting books and extra speed paints in a box. I have a big light. Ah, yes. The tour from 11 months ago. How much has it changed? Oh, yeah. Yeah, got a little pop socket thing for speed paints. Currently working on some more clan rats. I keep all of the paints for the current project either there, or in one of the little cubbies, or along the side right here. I just finished painting up the change caster a couple nights ago. Haven't put those paints away yet. All sorts of paints that I'm not currently using. And a second set of drawers full of paints. A blanket for when the floor is cold or when a cat decides to come visit. I still have all sorts of tools in the drawer. A bunch of paintbrushes that I need to test out. Some of these are actually Kolinsky Sable. I find I like using this little table, the side thing, instead of just staying on the desk. And so because of that, this drawer is empty, and this one has more paints in it. I keep paper towels down in that one. But overall, nice, clear desk. Plenty of space to work. My new wet palette can fit underneath. I have a normal acrylics and a metallics water cup. And my cleaning tools fit right underneath the other side. My two cameras for when I'm doing live streaming. And my computer. On top of a computer. And open on the side. It's a slightly older computer. It does not have a USB-C port, which means that I was limited to what I could use for a streaming camera. One of these days I'll upgrade and have even better camera overhead. I also still want to put a bigger metal shelf over here in the future. It's a big open space, and I could use it more effectively at some point. But for now, it works. And then, 11 months ago, I knew I wanted display cabinets, but I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted. And now, I decided on the Brymnus. And another light. And a few other Brymnus. Overall, I have 8 cabinets for all of my finished models. All of my Chaos and Tau. My Dark Angels, Blood Angels, and Grey Knights. And then we have my Eldar and Necrons. And my Orcs. And a whole cabinet just for my Tyranid models. Once I finally get more of them painted up, that'll actually be full. And then we got to the lighted cabinets, and a reminder to always make sure you purchase decent equipment, because otherwise you're going to end up with defective lighting and effort that you do not want to put into something. So I still need to get lighting for the other half of these cases. But I have my Skaven and space for my Stormcasts, my Disciples of Tzeentch, and plenty of space for the cool boys, extra space for board games and such. I finally have my Legion Everblight and Circle Orboros based and behind glass, instead of having them in the shelves on the other side of the room. It feels a lot better having all of my painted minis on this side of the room now. And a few other board games and Bones minis. My Kill Teams and random Space Marines. My Star Wars Legion models and Space to Grow. Dust Tactics models. Oh yeah, all the finished painting models. The table in the center of the room still doesn't have a new rug, and it still doesn't have a light over it, but that's still something I plan on doing in the near future. One of my Age of Darkness boxes is built and just waiting to be primed. I like having a fairly easy time cleaning this off. Whenever I want to play, I want to have that accessible. And then over here, we have the Stompa build. It's nice having it just easily accessible and on its own shelf. And I have some space for other projects whenever I need to use them. And extra cardboard to prime on. Over here, I have a little photo area where I can have a light and a green screen. I've taken a few pictures over here, and I plan on doing more. Having a few extra bins and stuff to hold terrain building stuff, always useful. And baking sheets for when I'm magnetizing my models. As you can see, I have some Necrons just waiting for basing, and they're magnetized. Once they've been based, they get to go in the case with the other 14 Necrons that I've finished painting and basing. And then my Custodes that have just been sitting since I primed them. But it is nice to have a couple of shelves just open for projects in process. I still have the boxes full of terrain. My canyon terrain is still in one of them, and I have the materials to make something else out of another one. I don't remember exactly what I was planning to do with it, but it's sitting there ready to go. The trees are still in the same spot. But the rest of the terrain is organized in cases. It makes it a lot easier to get to and grab two sweater boxes for all of a single set. So that's the Pegasus Hobbies building stuff, and that is the Gallowdark terrain. That is Bones terrain, and spare scatter stuff. Yep. And then I have 44 by 60 mats. I didn't build anything for them, but the bags fit perfectly fine on this shelf. So it works out pretty good, and I could double or even triple stack them and still easily access them. So, yay! Those items are not mine. I'm storing them for a friend who likes to craft while he's over here. So yeah, not part of my pile of shame. Yay! However, I do still have this. Now, that Age of Darkness box isn't the same one from last year, but those Cursed City and Blackstone Fortress boxes are. Perhaps next year, after I've done my 1,000 points per army challenge for this year, maybe I'll actually get to doing one or even both of those. I still really look forward to some of those models, and I want to give them a little bit more time than I really have for all the other armies that I'm trying to build this year. I have added a few things like the other Star Wars Legion sets and the Hero Quest box. But overall, it doesn't look too bad. And not having the rule books over here is nice. My building supplies are only in 4 now, instead of all over the place, thanks to those extra totes on the previous wall. And then, all of my spare bits, and some Bones models, are all on these 2 shelves in sweater boxes, with the other side models. And then some spare bags and build booklets and my decals or transfers or whatever, and some random bases for the other side. Then we have all of my random bases, and extra parchment paper, and more bases, and sponges for my wet palette, and some dry brushes, and some more bases, and parts of my knights that I still haven't done anything with. But at least they're all built now. I still have a whole bunch of Hordes models to build and paint. My cool boys are getting there, at least built, if not painted. And I haven't really even built any of my Stormcast in the last 11 months. But pretty soon I'll be building a ton of them to go with my Skaven that I have been working on. And now, the only things in the bottom layers are on sprue or little baggies ready to be built, instead of having my finished models that are painted down there. Which makes sense to have them over there, because that looks so much better. Being able to look in the glass and see what I have, instead of bending down to look down in here. This is much better space for sprues ready to be built. I did finish building my 2 Leviathan boxes of models, but if you look, I haven't gotten any of the Space Marines painted yet. But, you know, models disappear from my dust-filled cubicles every now and then. Every now and then, not as frequently as they should. And that is where my Death Guard are going as soon as they're primed. My Star Wars Legion has grown immensely, and they're just waiting for paint. Some more Space Marines have been sitting around forever. And I just have a few more Arcadia Quest models to paint before they'll be ready to go in the display cabinet. My Tyranids still take up way more spaces than I really can afford to give them over here. As soon as I actually get some more painted, it'll be great. Oh, these poor legends. Poor legends. And even some more. I'm actually up to almost, at 1095 points for Tyranids that are legends now. Anyway, continuing on. My Eldar and Necrons. My Orcs. Going a little bit further over as well. All just waiting for more paint. And my Chaos. Bunch of kits ready to go, get built, or kit bashed. My Death Guard. And my Tau. So yeah. Nice and organized. I can get to the things that I might want to paint. Once I've gotten them painted, they get to go all the way over here in the nice cabinets that'll eventually get lighting. Yeah. I look forward to the day when these 40K models have the same lighting options as those. But other than that, I have had a great time this year in the bunker. And the only things that I would have liked to have gotten done in this year that I haven't had a chance to, these lights, the larger rug and lights above the table, and investing in 2 or 3 extra chairs so that when people come over, they actually want to be in this room. Having 1 chair for painting doesn't really bode well for having people over. But hopefully I can fix that soon. But yeah, 1 year in the bunker. What a change. I can't wait to see what next year holds. Subscribe if you haven't so that you don't miss any future videos. I also want to thank my patrons and supporters for making these videos possible. And until next time, I hope you find your bit of bliss.